All right, DeMarvion, you sent out a tweet the other day that said, I'm kind of liking this linebacker thing now. I know there was a lot going on where you were trying to decide if you really wanted to play that position, but you got a chance to go down there and bust some heads this past weekend. So tell us about the change to linebacker.
Well, like I said after the game, we have one heck of a D-line, and then we have one heck of a coach with Coach Ash, and they just make it so much easier, like the transition so much easier. So, like, going out there Saturday night, at first I had a little nerves, but, like, it felt so natural once I started, like, moving around and, like, just doing what I was coached over fall camp and over the little bit of spring training that we had.
Brian, go ahead.
Dee, could you just talk a little bit about the transition itself? I mean, what did you think when coaches came to you about it? How did that happen? And what were your apprehensions about moving?
In the spring, I was actually working out with the safeties. And I went up to Coach Ash after one day when we had like a voluntary little workout. And I asked him, like, where do you see me as? Like, what do you think is best for me? And that's when we started chopping it up, started talking about my weight, talking about what at the next level, like what are they looking for in an athlete like me? And then we just went from there.
Kirk, you got a question?
Yeah, DeMarvion, what were the coaches most impressed with you in your play on Saturday? What did they like that you did? Basically
just running around, finding the ball, getting off blocks, and just pursuing to the ball.
Dennis, you're up.
DeMarvion, you've been very instrumental in the whole social activism thing. How will you spend your bye week any differently? Does it allow you to focus on something like that as opposed to football?
Well, like I've talked to Coach Herman, both are priorities to me. Football, my team, and also my community. So I will continue not only performing on the football field, but doing my part in my community as helping out with what's going on in the world today.
Maya, you got a question?
Hi, DeMarvion. Just to kind of piggyback off of Dennis's question, you posted a statement called "Am I Next?" a couple of weeks ago. I just want to know what inspired that. And then, sorry, this is a two-parter. Have you had any luck finding any activism groups in Austin or nonprofits?
Well, to answer that second one, yes, I have been in touch with some people on Twitter and a couple of teammates of mine. Are we actually going to get involved as soon as we can? And as far as the "Am I Next" statement, it was just something that was in my heart. It's been there for a long time, and seeing this type of stuff happening day after day, I felt like somebody with my platform needed to say something like that, because a lot of people that look exactly like me feel that way.
Anwar, you're up.
Good stuff, DeMarvion. Hey, DeMarvion, talk about the weight gain that you had to put on, in the off season in order to play the linebacker. I know they were trying to add on some pounds, but talk about, where you were, you started at, where you ended up at, and how difficult was that to do while you were at home, right? And you didn't have UT feeding you, 3 meals a day. So just talk to me about that process.
Well, it was going well. And like you said, like going back home, it was a struggle getting food that I get here at UT. But like, I'm still working on it to this day. But they told me, like, when I moved to the position, how physical and how I play, like the weight really wasn't going to be a big problem, because I like to hit. I'm very physical. So, but the weight was just going to be a plus. And that's just something I'm still working on right now. But it's climbing every week.
Chip, go ahead.
Marvion, who have you leaned on in the linebacker room? How have you bonded with those guys? And with BJ coming back to the team, how's the team accepting him?
Well, starting with the first question, I've always been close to everybody on the team, so really leaning on the linebackers. We were close before I even came in the room, because like last year I played some linebacker in different packages. And as far as BJ, he's a brother to us, and he's a brother.
Steve, you got a question?
Hey, DeMarvion, talk about your body a little bit. Obviously, being closer to the line, getting more contact at the linebacker position than the safety. I know you're a guy who wants contact, but does your body feel any different today than it did in the games when you were playing safety?
I really can't tell because, like, as you know, my first 2 years, I was dealing with a lot of injuries. So, but as far as what Saturday and how I'm feeling right now, I feel good.
Danny, you're up.
Hey, DeMarvion, going back to your tweet that you put out in July, how did you get from that place to the place you are right now, feeling comfortable and back on the team? And then I'm also curious, did you expect or anticipate the reaction that you got with your statement and speaking your truth back in July?
I don't think anybody could have expected that. I mean, the University of Texas doing something like that, I don't think anybody saw that coming. But talking to my head coach, Del Conte, the team, just all coming together, like I said, like we were one. When I tweeted that we were one after that. We came together, we decided as a team, as a family, and that's why I'm here.
Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, DeMarvion, first, what is your new weight? What are you sitting at? And then I got another question.
Well, this morning I weighed in at 220.
220. What's your target weight?
My target weight, well, I want to get to at least 230, but I'm going to try to at least play at 225 this year.
Okay. And do you have a favorite linebacker either in college or the pros that you like to emulate and you feel like your game maybe mirrors theirs?
I say more like an Isaiah Simmons right now. When I was playing safety, it was Cam Chancellor. That was my role model coming into sports, coming into football.
Chip, go ahead.
DeMarvion, what specifically do you like about this weak side linebacker position? What appeals to you about that? And then you talked about that defensive line. Just talk about playing behind those guys and what kind of advantage that is.
What I like about Will linebacker is, and this defense is basically just playing safety closest to all the action. And that's what I like. I like to be involved in the action, and I like to get physical. And as far as the D-line, I mean, we all saw it. Like, they're just they're so good. They disruptive. Like, they make my job way easier when I'm playing behind those guys.
Jeff, you had a question?
Yeah, DeMarvion, you just mentioned Isaiah Simmons a couple minutes ago. As you and Coach Ash were talking about the move from safety to linebacker, I know that's a move some guys can't really wrap their heads around, but does it make that move easier when you see a guy like Isaiah Simmons that basically, he doesn't almost have a position on the football field. He does a little bit of everything. When you see guys like that are thriving, not just at the college level, but at the next level, does it make making a position move a little bit easier?
It does. And just watching what he done at Clemson and kind of trying to mirror my game after him, it makes it a lot more fun and a lot more welcoming being in that position.
Brian, you're up.
Marvion, you and a lot of guys have done great stuff this summer, bringing attention to issues away from the field. But the overwhelming response that I get from fans is this team focused? And my question is, what would you say to someone who says, they're worried about all this other stuff and they're not worried about winning a championship? What do you say to someone like that?
I would say this team couldn't be any more closer. I feel like what happened in the summer brought this team even closer as a family, as a team, as brothers.
You're not worried about anything off the field being a distraction?
No, we're not worried about any of that.
Cool.
Danny, you're up.
Marvin, I know you're not in the safety room anymore, but you obviously spent a lot of time with Chris and Caden. In your opinion, why do you think those two were voted as team captains?
because they lead. You come out and you see them. They don't take no lazy steps. They're there for anybody, no matter what position, offense or defense. You can go up to them. You can talk to them. They're gonna keep it real with you. And those are just the kind of guys that you want leading this team.
Got one last one. Go ahead, Cedric.
Hey, DeMarvion, I know activism always comes with pushback, and you guys were roundly criticized for your stance earlier this year. How are you able to handle that criticism? You're a young guy from ARP, Texas, and I know where ARP is. I'm from Tyler, so you broke Twitter a couple of days. How are you and your teammates able to handle that criticism earlier?
Just by staying together, talking to one another. We knew it was coming. Once we put everything together, we knew it was going to happen. And like you said, I'm from ARP, so I've seen it firsthand. And just staying together, keeping each other on track, that's how we dealt with it.